Okay, Joe.
I'm gonna do it during the meeting, it's not gonna bother you with it, I'll just get up and come over.
No.
And you're doing it live too, Jim.
Excuse me, everyone. Welcome to the December 17th, 2018 Salisbury City Council work session. We have a few items on the agenda tonight, and starting off, we have Fire Chief John Tull with some municipal code revisions. Chief, why don't you come up if you want to bring the cast of thousands?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I would like to ask
Fine,
Eric Kramer, our fire marshal, to come up.
sure. Hi, Eric.
So good afternoon. The ordinance that you have in front of you for the municipal code is for the fire prevention code. We have now been conducting our fire prevention and fire marshal services for a little over a year now. And as we reviewed and applied the current code, Eric found some areas that we needed to modify and change based on the actual requirements for the permits. So we've delineated the actual type of permits that are required for specific installations. And then there is a third-party inspection where a company takes care of the inspection forms that come back to our organization. So when a company has someone come in and conduct an inspection of their system, their
Test.
the fire suppression system, they complete the report and it's submitted electronically. So the fire marshal's office gets the reports automatically from the company. So there's no paper documents that have to be mailed or sent. It's all electronically sent to the fire marshal's office. And then with that, we can start to standardize the 30-day reinspection and those different types of items with this third-party company. Did I miss
Now,
anything?
does that third-party company have to be approved by,
We are under contract with Bracer. Is a third-party company that handles the inspections.
so it'll be the same company
Yes.
for each? Oh, okay, that was,
Yes.
I didn't catch that in the,
And the local companies that conduct the fire suppression system inspections, they're all familiar with this company because when we actually started doing the inspections, when Eric was reaching out to the companies for the reports, a majority of them were asking if they had to submit it through a third-party vendor because they're very familiar with doing that, or did we want them to handwrite and deliver the documents to us? We started with the handwritten, and then as we learned and evolved and had some conversation with other people, we learned that that system's a lot better than the handwritten delivery of notes and all that stuff.
okay.
That's anything?
Anything else?
I
Questions?
I know that some companies, like Walmart, they have a company that comes out every quarter and they test the fire suppression system. So do you guys get that report? or-
Yes.
Okay, so you even though it's not the city's company, it's a
No,
separate?
any company that conducts fire suppression inspections, once they complete it, they go back and put it into the third company, this third party. They log on and whatever they do on the back end.
Okay,
And because this company knows all the commercial businesses that are within the Salisbury Fire District,
yeah.
that the minute they submit it, we automatically get
Get,
notification of it, and the report comes directly to the fire marshal's office.
Okay. And then the particular company pays the inspector, the people who do the inspections, right?
The company, when they do the inspection,
Right.
it's a $12 annual fee that is paid to the third-party
Right,
inspector, yes.
right. And that's direct.
That's direct.
So
There's
we have no
nothing in the city,
handling.
nope.
Okay.
We don't ask for no additional fees. It's
Gotcha.
just what the third party does,
Gotcha. So it's very clean.
yes.
And there's no conflict at all with the state fire code.
No.
Any other questions? Okay. Look over this side. That's why there weren't any questions.
You look hungry to me.
All right. We have consensus to move this?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Eric. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great holiday. Next on the agenda, we have Salisbury Fire Department pay plan revision.
Good afternoon again. So during the FY19 budget process, the Personnel Committee, along with the mayor and the fire chief, they developed some career ladder opportunities for our membership in order to give people years of service and additional opportunities to advance throughout the organization. Once it was implemented with the budget passing, we started moving forward with implementing people in certain pay grades and position titles. At the same time, we were applying for the safer position, and through that process, we determined that because we got safer, we needed to have some more first-line supervisors to handle the additional shifts at Station 2. So what we're asking for here is to change the titles only of the current pay plan to reflect, instead of senior firefighter, driver operator, and then instead of engineer, the sergeant's position. This comes at no additional cost. There's no change monetarily in the FY19 budget. It's name changes and then adding an additional line for separation in the pay plan.
Didn't, a couple of years ago, didn't we have sergeant in the, wasn't that on,
It was a proposal.
there was a proposal?
Yeah, we had talked about it.
Yeah,
It was
I know we had
discussed at
talked
budget
about
time,
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
But it didn't make it in until this year.
right, okay.
Or it didn't make it into our
Adopted.
adopted financial plan until this year. And it's not in, the rank is not yet in.
Yeah.
That's what
Gotcha.
this proposal's about.
So the ranges look significant enough to make a difference from minimum to max.
Yeah, it's,
There's room in there for the development, which is
that is correct.
good. Okay, any questions at all about the change?
No, I mean, I think this is in line with what we've done citywide, so.
Mr. Ireton, yeah?
No, it was just, the first paragraph tells why we did the objectives of Corrido, and then it says, with this in mind, we're gonna make these changes. So I'm just trying to figure out why you wanted to make these changes. You told me what the goals are, and now you told me what you wanted to change, but you didn't tell me why you wanted to change it. Is it that in the corresponding amount of time, you found that somebody in the department was like, well, I hit this too soon, or everybody gets bottlenecked in one place?
No, I think what I understood was, you're looking for, instead of someone just being an engineer, we're changing it to sergeant because they're actually gonna be a supervisor.
Yeah.
Is that,
Does
Yes.
that hit it?
Yeah, that was some of it, but it was also that looking at competitive process and limiting the number of people to go into a grade. So it becomes
Compression.
more of competitive and all that stuff.
Yeah, there was a compression issue.
Yes, there is compression.
So whereas, my least favorite word,
What compression?
whereas, you could essentially, let's just think about like using a different title, firefighter 1, firefighter 2, firefighter 3. And that's a system that we've had elsewhere or at other times. And you could have any in fact, not just any number, you could have 100% of your firefighters promoting into that firefighter 3 rank. Whereas sergeant, we're going to have a set number of positions because they have certain responsibilities and duties. You want a certain number available at any time on a shift. Same with driver operator, right? There's going to be a limit to.
No, not for
there's
that.
limit.
No limit for
Okay,
that.
so driver operator operates like the
Yes.
firefighter 3 designation, but sergeant, a limited number of positions. It's not unlimited promotions into that position.
So how did you do it without it having an effect on the budget? Because I think all of your colleagues that are department heads would want to be here in the room to hear how you
Well,
did it.
so when the pay plan was adopted in the FY19 budget, we knew we had a lot of work to do to be able to put people in certain positions. And working through that, we knew that there was gonna be a competitive process starting sometime now, preparing for January. So we haven't actually filled the engineer positions. So with changing the title, the money was already allocated for people to move throughout the organization in that grade effective January. So
Will
we're
it have an effect on the budget that the mayor has to send to us next time?
Yes.
Yes. How much of an effect?
I don't know if it will really have an effect.
It's mod, it'll be,
There was 3 yeses and a no.
it'll be,
Because
The
it's,
city council president, the
it's
mayor
a-
said yes.
They're already assigned, allocated
I know that,
positions, we're
but
just changing the name.
I get that, but I just wanted to make sure that, so engineer and sergeant,
what'll change is based on the pay predictability plan.
okay, all right, that's fine. It just all sounds too good to be true.
I understand.
Yeah. There's no compression in the school system teacher's budget, that's for sure. And certainly if there was, no one would be here talking.
Does anybody else want to say compression?
Whereas.
All right. Everybody okay with this session then? Good,
Thank you.
okay. You're finished.
I'm done.
Have a great holiday.
You do the same?
Be
safe
safe.
on the cruise?
Thanks,
Yep,
guys.
be safe.
thank you all.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Thanks, guys. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Mrs. Nichols,
Yes,
you're up.
the dates presented in the packet are simply just next year's first and third work session dates
Right.
and the second and fourth Monday council meeting dates. Just want to get consensus to keep.
Yeah, I
them.
looked it over, and it can be adjusted if we, like we've done on a couple of occasions when items have to be, there aren't enough items for a meeting. And we've taken into account holidays,
Yes,
so you'll see the Tuesdays are, after Mondays that we're off,
holiday, yes.
Mhm. okay?
And to keep the times at 6 PM
And
and
4:30. Yep.
Good.
Any
I
questions from the
guess
council?
my only question on the November reorganization meeting, is that enough time between the end of the election and,
I think that the reorg meeting, sorry, I didn't check, but I think it has to be the next meeting.
It has to be the
Following
immediate.
By the charter?
the
Yeah, by
election.
the
I
charter.
think so.
what about?
If
I mean,
there
I'm just-
isn't
I'm just gonna
enough
throw out,
time.
we had a recent school board election where there was a recount.
We've
And
had
the person-
recounts before.
Well, the person who initially won the election was ahead by one vote, they certified it. Then the person who had lost by one vote requested a recount, and it extended it like another 2 weeks.
We're gonna think positively here.
You know, I'm just,
Since,
Well,
Yeah.
I think that, first of all, it's by the charter,
Yeah.
so we can't change it unless we change the
and
charter.
unless, yes, and if that election date, then if there is a
Because-
tie,
what about absentee
And-
ballots? What about military ballots? Because some of those might not get back by November 12th if the election, that's a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a week.
No, last time it was 2.
It's always
A week.
immediate.
it's the
always
next
the
week.
Yeah.
The
It's the
meeting
next
immediately
meeting.
following.
We have
Yeah.
busy days following the election that we open
Yeah,
Yeah,
that the
what's next
board
week?
is involved in opening. And if it has to be, for any reason, it has to be, but another date, but otherwise, I believe it's the following
yeah.
meeting directly after.
We could always add, you know, to the chart, we could always change the charter to add like, and adjusting the case.
I mean, that's something maybe I mean, I just, you know,
And if there is,
things
Because
happen.
things do happen, yeah, you're right.
I mean, what if there's a
if it
tie?
does, then it will have to follow
That's
the, if,
I'm,
if they
yeah.
call for,
You keep-
I mean, if there is a tie or
You keep saying
something.
it, Mayor.
Yeah, don't,
Putting the whammy on it.
Please.
but
Why don't we put it on the next work session for discussion,
to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay.
which would be January 14th, I believe. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions about the calendar? Okay, that takes care of the agenda as written. We will now entertain a motion to convene into closed session to discuss a pending or potential legal issue,
so moved.
lawsuit.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Boda. A second by Ms. Jackson.
Where is?
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Opposed, no one. And absent, one.
Okay, we might have to wait a minute or two.
Yep.
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
Ready? Okay, we're ready.
We're ready. All right, we've just come out of closed session, and there was a discussion on a pending lawsuit, and since there's no other business, we are adjourned.